Homer fried up some delicious-smelling bacon, but he didn't eat a single bite. Instead, he happily collected the grease, and this clearly wasn't the first time he'd done this. Marge was angry because he had fed all the bacon she'd saved for dinner to the dog, but her anger couldn't stop Homer's determination to sell the grease. Not only that, he even forcibly recruited schoolboy Bart to help him out. They arrived at the grease recycling plant. The staff member skillfully calculated and gave them 63 cents.
Woohoo! Dad, all that bacon cost $27.
Yeah, but your mom paid for that.
Homer clearly drew a sharp line between himself and Marge, completely unable to understand, Bart unable to understand. Moreover, he had more important things to do: expand the grease collection operation. Of course, his employee Bart also had to continue skipping school along with him as he skipped work. Bart could only watch longingly as his classmates played happily on the playground. Fortunately, their next stop was a burger joint, which at least provided him some consolation. Except they weren't there to eat, they were there for the grease.
Mom's gonna kill you.
If she didn't want her car ruined, she should have done a better job hiding her keys.
Suddenly, the grease began rapidly decreasing. Someone was forcibly siphoning it away with a hose. What goes around comes around. They not only beat up Homer, but also forcibly confiscated his shovel. Homer returned in defeat and complained to Marge about his ordeal. Though Marge felt sorry for him, she also hoped he would quit the grease business. After all, trading her big money for his small money would ultimately hurt the family's total income. But just then, Bart suddenly suggested to Homer that they pull off one last big score. It turned out that although he also didn't approve of Homer doing this business, he didn't want to see his father forced to exit in such a humiliating way. So that evening, they prepared several large barrels, and after praying devoutly, they headed to their destination, Springfield Elementary. At this hour, the place was empty. They could completely unnoticed siphon away all the grease that had accumulated in this kitchen for decades, and definitely make a fortune from it.
And now we wait. So, is this your school?
Well, it used to be.
Suddenly, Willie walked in and went straight to take a shower. How could there be anyone at school at this hour? It turned out that since Bart had been forced to skip school for so long, his impression of the school still remained in his previous understanding, not knowing that recently a new student named Alex had transferred to the school. She had a pretty appearance and a fashionable purse. Most importantly, she had a cell phone. The girls at school all really liked her. Plus, she helped them pierce their ears and gave them earrings. So Alex quickly became the girls' leader. At her insistence, Lisa and the principal had no choice but to change the outdoor activity to a school dance. In other words, tonight everyone from the school was here. Homer and Bart not only encountered the worst timing, but also ran into the highest combative Willie. Homer stammered and made up a story that he was an exchange student from Scotland, even preemptively questioning Willie's Scottish identity. But while defending himself, Willie discovered the hose they had set up and realized they were there to steal his retirement grease. So he immediately chased into the vent. With his physical advantage, he quickly and easily caught Homer and punched him again and again to teach him a lesson. Meanwhile, outside the school dance, the principal asked Lisa to help him keep an eye on the students inside because he had an emergency at home and had to leave immediately. Lisa was skeptical, but when she opened the door, she was stunned by the scene before her. The atmosphere at the dance was both quiet and awkward. Even Alex saw Lisa, who had just entered, as a savior.
What happened? Well, the boys and girls are like afraid of each other. They're acting like a bunch of
Kids?
I know. What is up with that?
It's because they are kids, and so are we.
Just then, the hose exploded. Grease surged through the entire vent, falling like snowflakes into the school dance, then flushing Bart, Willie, and Homer out of the vent. The fragrant grease liberated the kids' nature. They used it to ski and have snowball fights, having a great time. Even Alex couldn't resist the temptation of this kind of fun.